leakiness of the gut can progress to autoimmune disease and cancer. But typically, I mean, what's happening is IBD is a form of autoimmune disease, right? So those with IBD, we're talking about Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis most commonly, are experiencing a form of autoimmune disease. And in this really cool prospective study done on U.S. government data, so it was on military data and military personnel seeing the doctor, and they were seeing the doctor. They focused on a section of those seeing the doctor for GI related symptoms and issues. And really interesting what they found. So they found about a 860% greater incidence of IBD among those with IBS symptoms. And that was compared to the control group. So if you're coming in with IBS symptoms and IBS-like conditions, you're seeing an 8.6 time increase or 860% increase in the likelihood of that turning into IBD, inflammatory bowel disease. In those who were diagnosed with IBS, they had well-defined IBS. Maybe it's been going on for multiple years. Some have IBS for multiple decades. They were 1,500% more likely to develop IBD at some point in their life. And so also those found with kind of that stomach flu, the food poisoning, or some of these more acute having those were at a twofold greater increase of than getting IBD. So again, we are telling a story of connection where it's not just, oh, I have a little constipation and diarrhea here and there. It's why is that? What is that? And we don't want that to progress. It could progress differently for everybody, as we saw in that spiral. It might come out in different areas of the body, but ultimately we're seeing this increased risk for those of you with these symptoms. For those of you, whether it's your body's whispering, talking, or screaming, it will come through these bigger and bigger symptoms and bigger damage to the gut as time goes on. So we really want to take hold of that sooner rather than later.
And we do know studies also show, again, because inflammatory bowel disease is very serious gut dysbiosis. So studies even show 33, so a third of those, 33%, a third of those with inflammatory bowel disease who are in remission. So they're no longer experiencing symptoms, they're considered in remission, they no longer have ulcers or inflammation. They still tend to have IBS symptoms. So again, that really does show that it is that very significant progression. So even if you've reversed one step, you still want to continue working on the gut microbiome and still really addressing what are all the other factors that played into me developing IBD, and how can I continue to improve the structure, the function, the population, so that way I can reverse these things.